we're going to now be joined by teams by Sonica Lategan, disaster management spokesperson for the city of Cape Town, to give us an update on how the storm and floods have affected residents of Cape Town. Sonica, good afternoon, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the show.
All right, so perhaps as we speak now, what is the damage of the storms, of the floods in relation to the storm in the city as we speak?
So over the weekend, we have unfortunately lost 8 lives. 4 people has died in the COVID-19 settlement in the Umfuleni area, Drift Sands, where they have been electrocuted. This has been a combination of water rising in these structures and also with illegal electricity connections. And then also we had 4 boys who lost their lives in Klipfontein area, where they were playing in water, and a power line unfortunately snapped and fell into this water. So that has been the deaths that has been related to the severe storms. We also had to evacuate some community members from the Salori Spas area, Salori Spas village area, the Sandvlei Makassa area, and children in the Strand area. About 6 children from 3 different houses in the Strand area had to be evacuated to the fire station in Strand. Then we also had people who were trapped at the Kochel Bay Reserve between Gordons Bay and Royals because of the roads that has been closed on that side. But our city department and our provincial disaster management center has been working very closely together to rescue those people. Then we also had extensive outages, power outages, because of the severe weather, and that has happened across the city. We had flooded roads across the city. There was uprooted trees as well. So that has been the damages for the severe weather event for the last 36 hours.
Sonica, thank you for that update. Perhaps as those who've just tuned in listen to, where to from here, let's talk to the contingency plans for the displaced. Are there plans to help those whose houses were damaged to rebuild?
So the city gives flood kits to people in informal settlements. Formal houses has to work through their insurance, and then also where people has been evacuated, they prefer to go to family and friends, and they've also approached now, for this recent flooding, they've also approached churches, and in the Salori Spas village, the community hall has been opened for about 170 people to stay there for this time being.
What about the loss of lives that you alluded to from the storm? Will the city be assisting in burials?
Unfortunately, the city is not in a position to assist with burials.
All right, so Sonica, we're obviously looking at the health risks also associated. What are you doing at this point to promote good hygiene practices, safe food preparation techniques, mitigating against some of those that, health hazards that might come as a result of the floods?
Yes, so we put out messages on our social media platforms to inform people of safe practices. Our environmental health people are on the ground to assist communities, especially to advise children not to play in water, people not to walk through rivers and swollen streams because of the diseases that the germs and stuff that might be carried with in the water, and sharp objects also. So our environmental health people are on the ground to assist people and to test water as well for these communities, so that we don't have a risk of diseases in the areas as well.
Sonica, is the worst over? Just in terms of the weather warning systems, are there plans to ensure such floods are not are at least mitigated against should they return? Is there a flood risk mapping device in urban and rural areas? What can you communicate at this point?
So the city does have a portfolio that is dealing with geographic information systems. So they do mapping of hazards and risks that has been identified in the risk assessment that has been done for the city. So flood hazard mapping has been done for the city. And then we have a winter readiness team where internal departments is represented on this team, and they start in February already, before the rainy season, to implement measures, mitigatory measures, whereby high-risk areas is being identified through assessments that is done through these teams and disaster management officials as well. And they go out in the communities to clean up drainage and just to ensure that our communities are in a position to deal with flooding of this magnitude. And we also do public awareness, where we go out into the communities to just make them aware and give tips on how to prevent and how to mitigate floods.
Sonica, let me wrap up this conversation. Who should people contact about flooding and emergencies, perhaps before, during and after? Is the information that is provided to non-English speaking residents, low-income citizens, tourists as well?
So the city has a policy where this type of information needs to be done in 3 languages. It is Afrikaans, English, and Xhosa. So information is being put out there in the different languages. And then we have an emergency number whereby we request or we advise the public to report any incidents, flood-related incidents, to the right number, which is 021 480 7700. And if they dial this number, it will put them in a position to be helped quickly, as opposed to dialing any other number which is incorrect. So 021 480 7700 is the number to call.
Sonica, thank you for your time with us on the SABC and for those sentiments. Sonica Lategan is the disaster management spokesperson for the city of Cape Town. Bring us an update on how the storm has affected residents of Cape Town. Let me just reiterate the number for those who need emergency assistance: 021 480 7700.